begin, I had a request from some people, other than myself, that if you have any leftover untouched cake, there's a table back there. At your convenience, if you could just discreetly, take it with you and put it back there and just don't touch it. Good evening, Scouts, Scouters, friends, and families. I'd like to begin by thanking Dr. Parker, Mr. Bevignani, Mrs. Taylor, and the class of 2011 for giving me the opportunity to be your Eagle class representative. This is truly an honor. Wow, it's really great to be here. And it's also great that you're here as well. You realize that none of us would be here if we didn't make a commitment to join the Boy Scouts when we were 11 years old. We accepted the challenge to run along that path to become Eagle Scouts. We are the Eagle class of 2011. Tonight, we all had a really nice dinner, but I remember some that weren't as nice. Come on, don't tell me that you've forgotten about some of your irresistible camp concoctions, some of that delicious undercooked, or worse, overcooked, burnt food that you were forced to eat or go hungry at camp. As I recall, it was hard to complain, seeing as we were the cooks. And don't forget all those rainy campouts, the soaked wool socks from that canoeing trip, and all those missing tent poles that are probably left somewhere in the back of the Scoutmaster's van. Okay, so maybe those things aren't always the way we want to remember, but we survived and we're all here. I'm not sure we were all prepared. And I know no one ever explained to me that I was going to have to sell Christmas wreaths and popcorn, not to mention struggle to complete the 300+ individual requirements to even be considered for the rank of Eagle. You can imagine that we would all be in very different places if we hadn't made those commitments at 11 years of age. You see, these challenges are what make us a unique assortment of individuals. They tested us. They pushed us to successfully complete them. Our one true claim to fame is that we all had our conviction, our persistence, our commitment. We made it, but it's just the beginning. I challenge you, fellow Eagles, to have faith in others just as much as yourself. For you now always have a duty to them, and especially to yourself. We all have this wonderful ability to reflect back on all that we've accomplished and take pride in what each of us has done. I'd like to share a quick story with you. This past summer, my best friend Isaac and I spent almost every evening together. No, not hanging out, eating Cheetos and drinking Mountain Dew while playing Xbox games in the basement. We did that too. But it would be more expected to find us somewhere along a winding path or trail, somewhere in the middle of a local forest preserve, running our hearts out. Many times the trails we'd run on were the very same ones that my high adventure team practiced hiking on to break in our new boots before heading on the trip to Iowa Royale. So I knew them well and never really had any trouble navigating them. But other times we'd end up on some totally unfamiliar path. And also freestyle trailblazing through some thickets and some places that were probably never before traversed by runners. All ended well that summer anyway. We were both in fantastic shape for the cross-country season, even though most of the time that was never our goal. What seemed most important was the commitment that we had to each other, to keep pressing on when the going got tough during a run, to be sure that whatever 13-mile venture we foolishly started, we'd finish. When I think back to those many, many runs that we went on together, I can't help but think back to all of the different journeys that my scout trip has brought to the feet of all the 11-year-old boys that dare go on them. You see, long runs through the forest are a lot like the Trail to Eagle, besides spending plenty of time in the woods and forest preserves anyway as a scout. Achieving ranks and fulfilling requirements demands the same sort of commitment that starting and finishing a long run demands. When a scout is faced with a challenge, a duty, he seeks to fulfill it. And not just so it is fulfilled to a minimum, but that it's done right and completely. No compass or map gets left behind, and all of the canteens are filled before leaving. All leaders, from scoutmaster to assistant patrol leader, are ready to lead on command. It's almost as if total preparation becomes second nature. This is the essence of scouting. This is what our program's all about. This is what takes a little persistence to finish to completion. I know that the Eagle Scout class of 2011 can certainly attest to that, and to any Eagle Scout who has fully and successfully completed the challenges presented before him. I know that you can attest to this too.
To the Eagle Scout class of 2011, I ask you to reflect back on all the long miles you've run on the path to Eagle. Be awed. Be proud. You guys have earned a distinction that'll last you a lifetime. You took foot on a once foreign path, and you hit the ground running. You constantly, and most of the time, just happily, took on challenges that at one point seemed much bigger than yourself. But most importantly, you always had somebody along the way with you if you needed it. And he always gave you step-by-step encouragement, whether it was asked for or not. The leadership you gave to your fellow scouts, your troop and community, doesn't stop when you reach Eagle. In fact, it's really only the beginning. Tonight, we truly recognize the commitment you made to lead and serve as young men. Take it upon yourself now to utilize that so very precious quality about yourself and spread it to whomever's path you cross. In conclusion, I remind you that only 4% of the boys that join Scouting reach the end of that path. Remember that statistic when you're faced with real-world challenges. Challenges where there may not always be a reward at the end. As we continue on our journey, on the greater path that is life, will we be prepared for the many miles it may take to get to the end? The answer lies in your hearts. All the many requirements and challenges you completed made you an Eagle. Your commitment and persistence made you a man. The writer Albert Hubbard once said, "A little more persistence, a little more effort, and what seemed a hopeless failure will turn to a glorious success." And if nothing else, know that at least if you and your international travel group get lost in the thrush of the Andes while doing some, we'll call it freestyle trailblazing, you'll probably be the one who will last the longest to tell the tale. Thank you.